Democrats have been wiped out at every level of government, and with the 2018 election ahead of them, they know they've got to come up with a strong, cohesive message. Now, the problem is that whenever you ask one of the Democratic Party's leaders or DNC leaders what the party stands for, they don't have a meaningful answer because the party doesn't really stand for anything because they continue to take corporate donations. I like to call them bribes, but they are bankrolled by large multinational corporations, by Wall Street, and they're refusing to represent voters. But don't fret because they know that they've got to come up with something. They need one message, a cohesive message that will resonate with voters. And basically what they've done now is they've narrowed it down to two issues. So Politico has an article titled Healthcare or Russia? Democrats Divided on 2018 Focus. They don't know if they should focus on healthcare or Russia.
Are you fucking kidding me?
This is one of the few articles that it left me speechless because I don't know what to say about this. There may be 30 million people that are left uninsured, even with the Affordable Care Act codified into law. There may be people who can't afford to buy anything because they are crippled with student debt, but so long as we get to the bottom of this Russia story, then that's all we care about. Our lives will be complete. I don't even think we have to go any further and read the article, but let's go ahead and dive in anyway. So, the Democratic Party is embroiled in a debate over where they should focus their efforts to win back political power, healthcare or Russia. A raft of data has already tabbed the House Republican healthcare bill as highly unpopular, but after last week's explosive developments related to the Russia investigation, Democratic groups have commissioned polling to gauge just how damaging the probe could be to Republicans in 2018 midterms. They've also begun testing theories on how to make Trump's Russia problem into a House and Senate Republicans' Russia problem. American Bridge and the Center for American Progress, both of which have anti-Trump war rooms, have been the center of Russia messaging so far. CAP has pushed the so-called Moscow Project, which aims to be a one-stop shop for research and messaging on the scandal. But on the other hand, we should focus on the issues that affect people's lives, not just on what the media in the DC bubble is talking about, said Simone Sanders, the press secretary at Priorities USA. And for those of you that don't know, Simone Sanders was actually Bernie Sanders' press secretary as well. So the fact that this is even a debate is embarrassing. It shows that we're already screwed. If the Democratic Party is divided on, healthcare and climate change, that makes sense to me. But if they're divided on healthcare and Russia, there's no way that I could rationalize that in my mind. And let me just say this about the Russia bullshit. I don't care. You have presented zero meaningful evidence to implicate Russia in so-called election meddling or an election hack. Releasing emails of Hillary Clinton's own words does not constitute election meddling. It just doesn't. So unless you can put up evidence that shows beyond a shadow of a doubt that Russia tried to hack into our voting booths, then shut the fuck up about Russia. I don't care about Russia. Russia isn't going to ensure that the residents of Flint have clean drinking water. Russia isn't going to undo the violence and harm caused to the Dakota Access Pipeline protesters. And maybe, just maybe it's the case that those emails released by Russia, even though we don't have evidence of that at this point, or we haven't seen it, maybe it's the case that those emails wouldn't have been damaging if Hillary Clinton wasn't corrupt in the first place. If Debbie Wasserman Schultz didn't try to rig the primaries against Bernie Sanders, I shouldn't say try, she successfully rigged the primaries against Bernie Sanders in the first place. That's not election rigging. Releasing emails that are proof of wrongdoing is not tantamount to election rigging. You want to know what is tantamount to election rigging? Purging hundreds of thousands of people off of the voting rolls in pro-Bernie districts, stifling debate and banning candidates from participating in non-DNC sanctioned debates so that way you can hide away Hillary Clinton's opponents is election meddling. Moving up red states on the primary schedule, that's meddling. Planting fake narratives, fake news about Bernie Sanders in the media, and colluding with the media to give Hillary Clinton unfair advantages ahead of town halls to leak her questions, that is meddling with the election. Let's talk about that. But they don't want to talk about what's in the emails. They just want to scream about how Russia meddled with the election. And if you don't believe that, then you're wrong. You're a crazy person. You're a lunatic. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're fringe. When, if you really stop to think about it, we haven't seen the evidence. We're supposed to take the intelligence agencies at their word when, if they were so sure, maybe they would actually come on the record, but it's all anonymous sources. And let's just go back to, I don't care. Even if you can prove that Russia did in fact leak the DNCs and John Podesta's emails, I don't care. I don't care. I care about what was in those emails, but you want to know what I care more about than what was in those emails even? I care about the issues. Medicare for all, net neutrality, pulling out of the wars that we've been in since before I was old enough to vote. That's what I care about. Focusing on Russia shows that the Democratic Party is opportunistic because they know that this issue is popular and the mainstream media is pushing it, so they're using this as an opportunity to attack Republicans when they don't really care about the issues. They don't care about healthcare. They're only going to pick an issue, and what they choose will be determined on what will allow them to win, because political parties, including the Democrats, only care about one thing: winning. They do not care about policy. They don't care about what the base wants, when all they have to do to win is be progressive. Take Medicare for all, make that the cornerstone of your 2018 campaign, and you will win. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that because their donors won't let them. So this is probably the biggest indication that what should be an easy win for them in 2018 will be a bloodbath, because they're so stupid, they can't pull their head out of their own asses. They think that Russia is going to solve the problems that we have. If you don't want Russia to hack emails, allegedly hack emails, why don't you put a bill through Congress to increase cybersecurity, but constantly harping on it and now expanding this scandal to Senate and House Republicans? You're beating a dead horse to where the carcass doesn't even resemble a horse anymore. You've beat this so much that every time I hear the word Russia, I recoil. I don't care about that. Let's move on from that. Let's go ahead and talk about the issues. But again, they don't want to talk about the issues because they have no policy substance. So the fact that there's a divide and that this is even a debate shows that the Democratic Party lost already. They lost already. They're losers.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.